to cut the influence of...
You asking me that question?
Yes.
No, please don't use that kind of language. Please, do not insult me.
Okay, I'm not insulting you.
Is your government owing contractors the way to...
How would I know? You send me to go and work in Abuja, I'm a senator in Abuja, I'm not a member of this thing.
Has it achieved what it was meant to?
No, we are not in position. I'm not in position to say that.
You know, but you had members on
the report is not...
You are representatives.
Hello?
on
the question you're asking me.
It is Frank Talk, quality talk, taking it from all angles, policy and politics, played out by our politicians and policy makers.
Join me, Femi Olanipekun, your host on Frank Talk, 9 to 10 a.m. every weekday on Rave 91.7 FM, where we have frank discussions and give you quality talk. Always.
Let's turn it up.
Relax and unwind because we're going live. 91.7 Wave FM.
Well, a lovely Friday morning to you. Thank you so much for sticking with us on your radio of choice right here on Rave 91.7 FM, where to find every bit of your moment, bringing you amazing music and spicing it up with quality talk. That's what we do every day of the week, every day of the month, right here on Rave 91.7 FM. My name is Femi Olanipekun. I'd like to say congratulations to this wonderful family, the Ravers family, once again for yet another award. Yes, tonight we got another award in series. Lots of awards has been for us this year. The resident doctors right here in the State Lautech Teaching Hospital giving us a Media Excellence Award for our contributions. They said the media profession. We'd like to say congratulations to every member of the team right here. Well, welcome on board Frank Talk, where we look at trending issues in the polity, bringing the issues closer to you and helping it have a better understanding and have a deeper insight into the issues that we look at right here on the program. Well, issues as it affects politics, issues as it affects policies, and also as it affects governance in our dear country, Nigeria. Well, one issue that has been giving lots of Nigerians headache. I just came from town this morning, and it's a pitiable sight, and such a shame that our country still are passing through this phase of full scarcity. For a country that produces oil, fuel, passing through this is particularly a shame for both its leaders and indeed its followers, really. Some queues, especially at the Lameko roundabout here this morning, stretching into the GRA. It is particularly terrible. One end of the ring road has been totally blocked. As a matter of fact, commuters, vehicles are using just one lane of that ring road. It shows the kind of desperation of people to get fuel from the NNPC mega station along that area. We'll be looking at that, looking at the economic impact. We spoke with the NNPC spokesman that was like a week or two ago, and he promised that it was going to be a thing of the past within a matter of days. Unfortunately, here we are again. We wanted to speak with him again this morning, but then as expected, many media organizations are on his neck, and he said he has a meeting by 9:30, so he won't be able to speak with us. But we're speaking to an economic expert just to look at the cost of all really on our economy, and then we will move on. That's not really our focus on the program today, because something else also happened this morning right here in Osun State. The union leaders, labor leaders, made a pronouncement. Mr. Jacob Adekomi, who is the chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress, made this announcement earlier this morning.
Consequent upon the refusal of the government of Osun State to accede to the demands of workers and pensioners as contained in our letter of Tuesday, 5th December 2017. The workers of Osun State will be proceeding on indefinite strike action by 27th December 2017. We salute your common support from the entire workforce of Osun State, and we trust that the unfailing God will see us through this unpleasant time. On this note, we enjoin all workers in Osun State to stay at home until otherwise directed by the labor leaders. We wish the good people of Osun State a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2018 in advance.
Right, well, Jacob Adekomi, the chairman of the NLC, there making that announcement earlier this morning. They addressed the press very early this morning, and declaring that indefinite strike. The strike is to commence on the 27th of this month. The Joint Public Service Negotiating Council are making that announcement, and well, they gave reasons such as the payment of salaries. They said half payment of salaries, delay in promotion of workers and retirement, and settlement of pensioners, really also part of the reasons why they say they are going on an indefinite strike. We broke that news to you very early, around 7:30 this morning. They addressed the press around 7 a.m. very early. Well, something saying, well, we wonder why it came that early, but then we'll come back to that in a bit. To give you a hang, we'll be speaking to one of the senior officials of the Nigeria Labour Congress, and also speaking to government on this one and how it will pan out. We see how they will settle this, but then this statement is saying that on the 27th of this month, that's next Wednesday, they will begin an indefinite strike. Well, let's make a sense of the fuel scarcity and what impact it has on the economy of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's biting harder, and all of the explanations being of government seems to just be falling by the wayside. It has no impact at all, and people are suffering by the day. It's so unfortunate we are having these at the moment. So we joined shortly live on the line from University Town of Ile-Ife by Dr. Tunji Ogunyemi. He's a budget historian, he's an economic expert and a policy analyst, as well as a legal practitioner, just to make a sense of this now, to know what really is the here and why we keep having these, and how do we go about solving these. What kind of impact has it on the economy of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Lots of man hours lost, lots of lots of things, really, frustrations, even health considerations. When you look at everything, put it in the mix, it is a very, very difficult time really for Nigerians. From Lagos to Ibadan, from Oshogbo to Zaria, it's been a story of sad tales all along. We're joined live on the line now by Dr. Tunji Ogunyemi. Thank you so much for joining us on Frank Talk in this one, Dr. Ogunyemi.
Thank you so much.
Well, this issue of the fuel scarcity, just to look at it, really, you are an economic expert, you're a budget historian. You've looked at the Nigerian economy from way past. Why do we keep having these fuel scarcity time and again, putting Nigerians in so much difficult situations, as if the ones they have to cope with is not enough?
It is a combination of three factors. Number one, greed. Number two, planlessness. And number three, failure of leadership. It is a combination of this trilogy of Nigeria's debility that we have fuel crisis seasonally. That's the answer. Because Ghana is not even an oil producing country, and yet it doesn't have this kind of seasonal problem. It is the combination, especially of the failure of leadership, planlessness, making the country to run on default setting rather than on design setting, and then greed. And there is nothing you can do about human greed, particularly when that greed is anchored upon some religious pretension.
But these, tell me the impact. It seems we don't have a clear understanding of how much these impact our national life, how much these impact the economy of the country, and also to us individually. What kind of impact do these have on us? Because it happens, then we move on, then it comes again, then we move on.
The greatest impact actually is on the supply of basic necessities, particularly food. That is the most basic, and that is the most critical. Don't forget, although Nigeria's economy is gradually exiting recession, but I tell you, that exiting does not include the prices of food. Prices of food items are still increasing. In other words, inflation has not really reduced. So the ordinary man is still fundamentally affected. So when you now couple that with fuel scarcity problems, then we are going to have a more serious problem in our hands. And the other impact will be in respect of not being able to move around. The workers, as well as festivities, will also be disturbed. But some people will be profiting from it. That's another impact. They will be profiting from it, and the money they will be getting from it, even particularly from fuel stations and retail outlets that have decided to shorten their fuel and not sell it, so that they can profit here from it. They will be getting the money of tribulation. And although they will be expecting to spend money from tribulation on good things, which can, of course, will not work. But having put Nigerians through this tribulation, they will also earn money from that tribulation. That's another impact. So we wish them well in their insolence.
Well, do you see these ending soon? Most Nigerians voted this administration to, change these, to effect a change, put a stop to this. It happened previous times, and it's happening again here. And some of my colleagues went to the streets yesterday. You see stories of deep frustrations, people losing faith in their country. Do you see these ending soon?
It will last for as long as the combination of the three factors of poor leadership or lack of leadership, greed, and planlessness combine to vilify, to create the crisis in our system. No one can specifically say this is how or this is how long the fuel scarcity will last. No one can say it, because we are talking of importing finished products from outside of Nigeria. The most efficient depot in Nigeria are in Lagos. Now, to be able to get these to stock will take nothing less than 7 days, and that will involve bidding for it, calling on the high seas so that they could bring this fuel and other things, and then begin to distribute. Distribution chain in Nigeria, don't forget, Nigeria is 923,000 square kilometers. The distribution chain, that's about 3 times the Great Britain. The distribution chain, it will be such that there's no way, even when it's sufficient in Lagos, it will not be able to spread sufficiently to other areas like in Mokudi, like in Garwa, like in Zamfara, like in Kariakoko, or like in Port Harcourt. So you will still have the combination of toil, stress, and suffering that will happen to Nigerian people. And I think it is a shame. It's a shame, really. Planlessness and failure of leadership.
Just in 30 seconds, in your own opinion, assessing, analyzing this, what is the permanent solution to this recurring shame on our nation?
The permanent solution is to roll back the 3 debilities I told you. At least for one, let the Department of Petroleum Resources, the policeman of fuel supply, retailing, and pricing, and PPIA, the policeman of stocking and policy, as well as the NNPC, the chief arrowhead in the oil production and sales, in the market. Let them at least appoint and do something needful with respect to strategic reserves, and we can have strategic reserves in the 6 zones. For example, Ibadan can be a strategic reserve for the southwest. Mokudi can be a strategic reserve for the north central. And we can go to Gudu and be a strategic reserve there. A strategic reserve can be created in Eket for the south-south. A strategic reserve can be created also in Yoda for the northeast, or even close by in Bauchi for the northeast. The problem is that we don't have this strategic reserve that can answer to sudden crisis of fuel shortages or deliberate frustration by the oil marketers and independent oil marketers of the Nigerian people. This is just a way of just making money from Christmas and New Year. You know, that's the instrumentality of greed. And it is a shame that their pretensions to be religious, you know, which is actually not being godly, their pretensions to be religious will not help them. Don't be surprised, the arrowheads of these people will be the ones that are saying that they are in support of the two major religions in Nigeria, Islam and Christianity, which is actually the pretension that they are far from God. You see, so the greed, poverty of leadership, and the combination of planlessness is what is bringing us to this solution. Reverse them, and you will have the problem solved.
All right. Well, thank you very much for speaking with us this morning, Dr. Tunji Ogunyemi from the University, from the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. We appreciate you joining us on the program this morning, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Ogunyemi joined us live on the line from Ile-Ife. So let's cross over to the main matter of the day today. That's the new development, the breaking news I brought you earlier this morning about civil servants in the state announcing, their an indefinite strike, saying it's going to start on the 27th of this month. Here, of the NLC, Jacob Adekomi, making that announcement earlier this morning while speaking with a journalist.
Consequent upon the refusal of the government of Osun State to accede to the demands of workers and pensioners as contained in our letter of Tuesday, 5th December 2017. The workers of Osun State will be proceeding on indefinite strike action by 27th December 2017. We salute your common support from the entire workforce of Osun State, and we trust that the unfailing God will see us through this unpleasant time. On this note, we enjoin all workers in Osun State to stay at home until otherwise directed by the labor leaders. We wish the good people of Osun State a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2018 in advance.
All right, Jacob Adekomi, earlier this morning, they're addressing the press on this development. We'll be joined shortly live on the line now by the Secretary of the NLC, Mr. Rufus Adeyemi. Will be joining us shortly live on the line to let us into why they had to take this decision and why at this time we're unable to reach the chairman of the NLC himself. But then we have the Secretary of the NLC. Then we'll get over to cross to government side also. Mr. Rufus Adeyemi is the Secretary of the Osun Nigeria Labour Congress. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Frank Talk this morning, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, tell me what informed your decision to go on strike this morning. I mean, address the press announcing an indefinite strike that is scheduled to start on Wednesday next week.
Actually, the notice of strike we gave to the government ends this Tuesday. And, from tomorrow now, there will be weekend and public holiday. And we cannot get our members, and we may not be able to reach our people except on the working day like today. And that's informed our decision to inform our members and to declare the strike to start coming Wednesday.
Well, Mr. Adeyemi, if you have persevered, if you have shown understanding with government these past, few years over these matters, especially on the payment of half salaries, I wonder why you're switching, why you're changing at this particular point in time.
You will believe that we are citizens of this state. This is our state, and we have been working around the clock to make sure that the government up on a very free and peaceful existence. Now, we believe that right now the government has enough fund in its kitty to pay that salary. You will recall that while we were addressing the press this morning, we make it known to the public that right now the government has more than 10 billion in its kitty. And why should it be difficult for the government to pay November salary in full? And let us negotiate on the other way demands that we have made. And equally, how can the governor be saying that promotion is a privilege? This is a civil service matter, and they are guided by rules and regulations. So promotion is not a privilege. It is our right as government workers to earn a promotion as and when due.
Well, I mean, you believe that government has enough money to pay you full salaries at this moment. Where did you get your, figures from? How do you know that government has enough money to pay your salaries in full?
In October, the governor was able to receive more than $1 billion naira plus the budget support, and in November he was able to receive 1.4 billion as a statutory allocation, and he was able to at least receive 6.3 billion from the Paris Club refund, and our internally generated revenue monthly ranges between 6 and 700. It's oscillating between 6 and 700 million monthly. Right now, he has more than 10 billion in his kitty.
So, I mean, if he has 10 billion naira in his kitty, you're saying he should use all of the 10 billion naira to pay worker salaries. Is that what you're saying?
When Buhari was releasing the Paris Club, it was expressly mentioned that the money should be used for workers' salary.
All of the monies? I mean, Mr. Adeyemi, you're saying all of the monies was to be used to pay salaries?
That was the directive of the president that the Paris Club released was for salaries, payment of salaries to workers.
But this Paris Club is just 6 billion naira. I mean, if other monies come from other sources, shouldn't it be evenly spread to meet other demands also in the state?
We are not saying that. I take a virtue for sometimes, and I told you that we are not averse to development, state development, development of the state, capital projects or what have you. But as long as you are thinking of this capital development, you will think of people that as we're making, they releasing their sweat daily. So it is the obligation of the government to pay salaries. It's one of its major obligations.
So, this issue now, I mean, as it is here on this issue of the salary, if before Wednesday, government reaches out to you, the labor, for a meeting, is there the possibility, of changing your stance over the strike?
Let the government go ahead first. Let them initiate action. Then, when we get to the bridge, then we know how to cross it.
Have you had meetings before this particular decision was taken this morning between yourself and government?
Of course, we would have taken this decision without meeting even the governor himself.
And what was the outcome of those meetings you had with government?
Once the governor told us that he cannot promote us, that promotion is a privilege, it's not our right. And he said he cannot pay full salary, and we cannot go on with that.
But the issue of this payment of the salary, I understand part of what government is saying is if we pay you full salary for November and December, how do we guarantee? How do we sustain it? January is still there. So if we spend everything in government coffers to pay salaries, then January, February, March, or whatever the months that follows, we're unable to pay. What sense does that make?
Mr. Olanipekun, the governor himself knew that we are partners in progress, and we have been working alongside with him in the development of this state. Let him first heed to our clarion call. Then when we get to the bridge, we know how to cross it. What led us to this state of receiving this half salary? We are partners in progress. We are stakeholders, major stakeholders for that matter. And these are states to the bridge. We know how to cross it. We know he can pay it now. Let him pay it. Then when we get to it, we know how to cross it. Let us negotiate.
But before now, Mr. Adeyemi, it was said that you had an agreement with government. There was an MOU between labor and government over this modulated salary. If you had an MOU, an agreement as it were, with this decision today, aren't you reneging on that part of the agreement on your own side of the bargain?
My brother, if not for purpose of education, I will not have answered this question. But for purpose of education and clarity. When we were signing the MOU said between September and it was for 3 months. The MOU had been off since December 2015. But because this is the state of the virtuous, and this is our major stakeholders for that matter, that's why we have been coping, and we have been, trying to be with the government and allowing him pay this moderated salary, because we knew that the governor didn't have the money to pay then. So right now, what we are saying is that he has the money, let him release the money in his kitty, pay us, then when we get to the bridge, then we know how to go. So there is nothing like an agreement. We had never signed an agreement with the government to pay us half salary. And if anybody, those people that were saying that were only marketing their ignorance. They are ignorant of what the say. People that are saying that are marketing their ignorance, and let them come out. But let them show us.
Mr. Adeyemi, this has been in public domain for a long time, and it has not been challenged. Government officials have said reportedly that you Labour leaders signed an agreement with government over these modulated salaries, and there was no time, any mention of a timeline as to September to December 2015, or what about them?
All those you are saying, they were just insinuations. Whoever that has what it takes, whoever that has the facts, whoever that knows the truth of the whole thing, let them come out with their facts and figures. Let them present it to you as journalists. And we believe we have an MOU with you, and if we don't have a copy, I will oblige to give you out at any time.
And it was expressly stated there. Was expressly stated in the MOU that this is just for 3 months.
Exactly.
It was expressly stated in the MOU.
Exactly.
But why did you allow it to go this long? Since December 2015 up to December 2017 here. That's 2 years.
Remember, I told you that we are stakeholders. We are major stakeholders. We knew that what was coming in cannot pay the full salary then. And we know he cannot make money. He will only use whatever that was released to him and whatever that he was able to generate as IGR. So we knew that he doesn't have the capacity, the capability to pay his rent. That was why some of our members are tagged us, some are even stoning us, some are raising curses on us that we have sold them off. Well, we know we have our mind, we know what we are doing. We know, but why we are taking the moderated salary was because we knew that government doesn't have enough funds to pay full salary. And we can't ask him to meet money. He doesn't have the power.
So, this move at this time now, are you sure you have the backings of the people you lead, the workers at this time?
1000%, if possible.
Because this is coming just before Christmas. Many of them are actually expecting to get their salaries, whether half or full, so that they can take care of their needs for this Christmas and the New Year. Are you sure some of them are not comfortable with this decision you've reached this morning?
We are acting on the impulse on their interest, so they give us the mandate, and they knew we cannot misdirect them. And I want to assure you that 100% they are with us.
But workers in the state, as it were now, as it is today rather, they may not get salaries for Christmas and New Year.
This government has been taking us for granted. We met with the government, we met with the governor on Monday night, and we asked him that the best he should do to help us and even to save our face was for him to pay November salary in full. And even right now, the governor had went about paying the modulated salary for November. We have no quarrel with that. It's our money, and people will be able to have money to buy food for the Christmas. So
at a function just some days back, the governor spoke and said that it's only 28% of the workforce that takes 50% salaries monthly. Saying that and he appreciated workers really, saying other levels, most of them earn between 75% and many others even earn their full salaries. I wonder why you are doing this, taking this drastic step just on behalf of 28% of the workforce.
Thank you for that matter. If it is just 20%, I believe that makes it easy for the governor to be able to pay them. Let's agree they are 20%. We are not quarreling that. But when we get to the bridge, at the appropriate time, the government will come out to tell the truth.
But is it true that those who receive half salary are just 28%?
We are not only that. At the appropriate time, the truth will come out. Even if they said they are 2%, we are not quarterly that. And that makes it easy for him to be able to pay them. They are very little, minute people. Why won't we be able to pay them?
All right. Well, we keep tabs on these, and we'll definitely get back to you again, Mr. Rufus Adeyemi, on this particular development. We thank you very sincerely for joining us on Frank Talk this morning on Rave 91.7 FM, sir.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Adeyemi is the Secretary of the Nigeria Labour Congress, joining us live on the line there this morning, the chairman of the NLC alongside other trade unions in Osun State, the NLC, the TUC, as well as the Joint Public Service Negotiating Council, all of them really under that banner of Joint Public Service Negotiating Council, declaring that strike with effect from Wednesday, the 27th of this month of December. And we just spoke with Mr. Adeyemi saying, well, they've persevered enough with the government on this matter, and they really think that government has the money now to pay their salaries in full. Let's get a hang of what government makes of these announcements this morning. Let's see if government really has the funds, or is government withholding? I'm just trying to draw back not to fulfill its obligations on these, but I will be we are joined live on the line now by the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Honorable Lani Badeniwa. Thank you so much for joining us on Frank Talk this morning, sir.
Good morning, Femi.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, you've had the announcement this morning, and we probably woke up to the news that workers have declared an indefinite strike with effect from Wednesday next week. What's government's reaction to that?
Well, there has not been any formal reaction, but I know that we are not going to have it that way by the time the 27th day of December comes. Because as a family, I know we will have been able to resolve our differences. We have been having a series of meetings. There was one on Monday, which had the governor personally in attendance, and issues were raised and discussed. Though the latest development shows the fact that the Labour seems not convinced yet about, the position of government. But I am definitely sure that the discussions and the talking between the two, stakeholders in the greatness of the state of Osun will definitely continue. And I am certain that we are not likely going to have a strike by 27.
Well, listening to the Labour leaders this morning addressing the press, and just speaking with one of their officials this morning, it seems, their body language and the tone of their voice is different from what you're painting, Mr. Badeniwa. They seem to be angry. In fact, they said government has taken them for granted all along, that they have persevered, and they believe that government has the funds to pay the salaries this time, that they're not going to shift grounds.
I do not agree with you, absolutely. Basically, I must say that the situation on ground is not the best. The government is not having the best of time. The workers are not having the best of time. The people of the state of Osun are not having the best of time. Not by the makings of all the parties I have, mentioned, but by the makings of some few elites who mismanage the economy, who open their eyes very widely. And as a government, with all the security apparatus, we are saying that yes, 600,000 barrels of crude oil were being stolen every day for close to 5 years, and people have to take this into consideration when they talk about anything economy as far as Nigeria and the Nigerian people are concerned. I want to say that definitely this is not the making of the government of Aregbesola. This is not the making of the workers in the state of Osun. This is not the making of the people of the state of Osun. This is not what we deserved, definitely. But then we have to find a way of living by it and finding a solution around it. I suppose one of the main solutions, which is ingenious, was the fact that, yes, we must be able to have some things in our pocket, despite all these, terrible problems created by some irresponsible elements and that is exactly what we are doing in the state of Osun.
But in Honorable Commissioner, I mean, there's permit me to come in here. They are saying that they've shown perseverance over the past 2 years. They said the initial MOU.
Very well appreciated.
Yes, they said the initial MOU they signed with government.
Several times.
Yes,
he spoke about it yesterday, yesterday at the program. The fact that yes, the perseverance, the doggedness, the support, the cooperation of the workers of the state of Osun is very well appreciated.
Well, they said that the initial MOU. Let me just put that to you, Mr. Bademore. They said that the initial MOU was meant to last for just 3 months, and they've allowed it to run through up to now. And they're saying if government has 10 billion naira in its coffers, nothing stops it from paying 2 full months' salaries at this month.
How many billions are we talking about?
There's a 10 billion naira.
I do not know of 10 billion naira. I am aware that we are expecting 6.3 billion naira from the third tranche of Paris refund.
And they said government got allocations for November.
Wait, I am aware that we have 3.6 billion to pay as full salary for the 2 categories of, the workers that are earning less than 100% of their salaries. A category that makes up 62% are earning their salaries full, that is levels 1 to 7. I need to say this, the fact that if you take 3.6 billion in 2 places, you know what it will come to. There is no way that amount can equate 6.3 billion that we are having as Paris refund. And in any case, I need to stress the fact that Mr. President, while releasing the money, said not less than 50% of that amount must be used for salary payment. And I doubt if Alhaji Hassan Sumonu, with his reputation, the labor leader, will allow the state government to do anything less than that.
Well,
but that apportionment committee which he heads is yet to even sit and take position over that matter. Therefore, it amounts to procrastination to say that yes, government is not paying this.
Well, Honorable Commissioner, you are only talking about the bailout funds. They're also talking about the statutory allocations that the state government gets on a monthly basis with budget support. They're saying together all of these amounts to 10 billion naira.
No, there's no way it will amount to 10 billion naira. In the month of October, according to the Commissioner for Finance, what the state of Osun got was 881 million naira. And for the month of November, what the state got was 1.4 billion naira. Even with the modulated payment, we have 1.7 billion to pay every month. And therefore, when you add all this together, even with the so-called 6.3 Paris refund, it does not amount to 10. There's no way it could be 10. It can't be more than 8-something billion.
Okay, but
and if you pay, wait. If you pay 3.6 billion full salary, 2, and you had the 2 together, you can imagine what it will come to. There's no way what is available. But even then, I would have loved to appeal to our people in the labor movement to let the apportionment committee, part of which they have very strongly, is to sit down over what is available and then take decisions. I am very, very sure that what we have been doing to have peace, harmony, and development in the state of Osun since the crisis came, not by any fault of the governor or his government, could be done even within the next few months when we are praying to God Almighty to tide over him that is created by some irresponsible elements at the federal level a few years back.
Well, Honorable Commissioner, if the labor leaders have met government, including a meeting with the governor, and if government's position is we don't have what it takes now salaries, why do they need to wait on the apportionment committee again? If they know that that's going to be what's going to be the outcome.
The truth of the matter is that they are part and parcel of the apportionment committee. It's even coming into place. They are part and parcel of it, and that's part of the reason why governor is always passionate about taking it to them that yes, they have done well. They have seen the possible and palpable problems that could have come into play if they had not come along with government in resolving the crisis that is not the fault of any of us.
Okay,
not
and then
that of government, not that of the labor leaders, not that of the people of the state of Osun. Our state cannot but go on and run. And everybody has been cooperating ever since. And that is the reason why the governor is always very, very passionate.
Well, one of the issues, that the labor leaders are saying that they are not happy with also is a statement, said to have been credited to the meetings where he said that the promotion is a privilege for the workers and not a right. They're saying that, this is the civil service and they didn't agree with that. I've spoken to a number of them. They're not happy.
They must have wrongly heard him, because I was at that meeting. What Mr. Governor said is that, what is the point in making promotion that you cannot back up with fund? As at present, what we have as a situation is the fact that the government cannot even pay full salary, not to talk of now making promotion that you cannot back up with cash. I think the essence of what the governor said was that it makes better sense for us to be able to get back to when we are able to pay full salary and now make promotion. And that, he will not like a situation whereby he will make an empty promotion or a promotion that will cause crisis thereafter. Because definitely when you do promotion, you are expected to pay, what is the essence of the promotion. And here you are having a situation whereby you cannot even pay the full salary and you want to promote. That was the essence of what the governor was saying. He didn't say, he can, they do not deserve their promotion. Workers deserve their promotion, definitely, when they work for it. He spoke about the need for merit in everything that we do, and the fact that all workers should try and become, tax specials, whereby everything anybody will do with government, they will first and foremost ask for the tax payment by, whosoever that is transacting business with the government. And, that when we are able to run our tax system properly and have sufficient money, we may not even need to wait for any allocation from the federal government before we can do what we are supposed to do as a government, including payment of salaries, emolument, and even, do promotion as when it is due.
Well, at the start of this conversation, you expressed a hope that the strike will not even start on Wednesday. When is government likely going to call these labor leaders to the table again with a view to resolving these?
You see, let me say this categorically. The labor leaders and government are not enemies. We have always been meeting. We will meet again, definitely, even, before 27th, and I'm convinced that by the grace of God, the industrial harmony that we have been enjoying in the state of Osun will continue. One thing is very paramount, and I would like you to allow me to say it. Even states that are going 6, 7, 8, 20 months, they are not declaring industrial action there. How much more here where we have designed a situation whereby nobody is losing his job and everybody is going home with something at the end of the month? Why do we want to disrupt that kind of, mutual relationship, which is beneficial to all, which is beneficial to the state, which is good for all of us? Why do we want to disrupt it? I am certain that we are not going to have that 27 holding.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Adelani Badeniwa, the Commissioner for Information and Strategy here in Osun State. We appreciate you joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you very much, Femi. You are welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah. All right, the Honorable joined us over the line, expressing a hope that this will be resolved as possible. We'll put a phone line for you right now to join us, and then let's make sense of what you have to say about this entire episode this morning. It's a new development this morning. We broke it to you here first this morning on Rave 91.7 FM very earlier this morning that the workers in the state have declared their intention to proceed on an indefinite strike starting from Wednesday. Let's open the phone lines for you right now. I'd like you to keep your comments, as we say, make it simple, make it short, and most importantly, let's keep it civil.
You can now join the conversation by calling 0806 867 6165, 0806 867 6165, and 0905 648 7177. You can equally make use of our social media platforms For WhatsApp, 0703-175-9173. 0703-175-9173. Tweet at us at Rave917FM. And Facebook is Rave917FM. Do remember to turn down the volume on your radio set or move away from it. And please, let's keep our comments civil. Thank you.
All right, we have our first call on the line this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Mr. Benga from Powerland.
Thank you, Mr. Benga.
Yeah, I want to put it to Honorable Commissioner. During the days of Jonathan, they never had issue of payment in Osun State. You understand? So I don't know why they are continuing to blackmail the past administration. Good morning.
All right, thank you, Mr. Benga. I would like you to keep it short like that. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Kolako Alimi, Commissioner for Local Government.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner.
I just want to commend the Honorable Commissioner and the Labour man that has spoken. I only want to add that the figure given by the Honorable Commissioner for Information, 3.6 billion, is only in respect of the salary for the state. The salary for the local government is about 2.8 billion full. Now, unmodulated salary is about 1.8. So that if we had the 2.8 billion naira plus 3.6 billion naira, as we want to use all the money people to us for salary, it's not even up to it. And I was in the meeting which the Labour held with the governor. The governor put them option A is for the modulated which we are paying. Option B happened to be the retrenchment of workers, which the government will not do. We now challenge anybody that has option B or option C that is better than the one we are adopting now. That if we just pay a full salary for a month and we fall back to the modulated salary, it doesn't make sense. So that is just the gist. We want to appeal to all our workers to see the predicament of the government. We appreciate the sacrifice of the government. And at the same time, we knew what the labor leaders are actually passing through. They stated it that their constituency were about stoning them for showing understanding and so on and so forth. Perhaps the pressure might be the reason. We want to appeal to them. This is beyond sentiment and pressure. It's based on circumstances beyond our control.
All right.
And as soon as things improve, the government will actually pay the full salary. The government also said that the arrears will be paid, and that if an instrument will be made for them to show that the government is actually owing them, and the government is not saying it's not owing them, I will not renege on that payment.
Thank you very much.
Let us understand this. So
all right. Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Kolakpo Alimide. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Francis Oyeniyi.
All right, where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Ibadan.
Thank you very much, Mr.
But I'm really appreciating the kind of the activities that you are doing. Please, I want to tell you that the government is playing this labor leader. They are playing the worker. In fact, I can see that these workers are very reasonable. They are doing something that is hurting this government. Government, at least, government. I'm expecting government to at least to listen to their agitation.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yeni. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Femi.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Aditi from Oshobo.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Aditi.
Yeah, how are you there? Because I'm so surprised you are not curious enough to ask him why the state hand 800 million naira in October. It had 800 million naira. What will have caused that? Was that money given directly by the federal government like that? Then secondly, from the way the man was talking, you can see how insensitive he is. He said the arrangement where workers collect half salary has actually guaranteed harmony in the state. A level 14, level 15 officer who has about 2 or 3 children in the university. Are they not curious enough to even ask themselves how this kind of person has been coping?
All right.
Good morning.
Thank you. Hello, good morning. That dropped. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Oyeni from Ikiro.
Thank you, Oyeni.
Yes, we just want to talk on it. It is not that the labor union is not concerned with the development of the state. But what we are saying is that The government has received bailout 1, bailout 2, Paris 1, Paris 2. Why is it now making this, the labor to suffer? We agree to develop the state, but why is it that the government is not taking us through, even to even have us in his own plan also? This is just my own question.
All right, thank you. Hello, good morning. Okay, let's take some messages right here on WhatsApp here. Engineer Lasisi from Atafun Oshobo is saying on fuel scarcity, I think President Buhari has greatly betrayed the trust Nigerians have in him. The increased pump price from 97 to 145 naira, Nigerians gave it to him to avoid this type of mess. I think history will judge individuals accordingly. And this one, Jackie from Oshobo said, it is very unfortunate we still find ourselves in these months of fuel scarcity. The implications are huge, both immediate and multiplier effects. Nigeria will continue to stumble until we learn from history. And he's saying, I believe the NLC is right. Such a step is long overdue. Our leaders, rulers should always be checked. Such wickedness all over the country should be highly redressed. And he's saying, I stand with Labour. And Adedeji from Oshobo says, I think NLC leader makes a right decision on these. We can't be suffering and smiling. God bless Nigeria. God bless Osun State. And engineer Emi Adekunle from Ede is saying the issue of confirmation of officers does not require money. And this one is from Ojole. Ojole is from Ido Osun, says the labor union in Osun have betrayed its workers in the past by agreeing many terms with the government of Osun, and it leads to the death of many workers, render many homeless. This announcement of strike was very, very late. They should have gone on this strike long time before now. And on Twitter, Nature Creation is saying, so sad that Commissioner is still banking on the activities of the past administration to explain their own failure. So misleading. And Oluwase Ikenwood is saying, I really support your first guest that spoke on the first issue of fuel scarcity. It's simply incapability of leadership which leads to failure of government. And concerning the other issue, tell Osun government to pay workers their salaries and stop lying. Let's take this one. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
The last call on the program this morning. What's your name?
That's my name from Obag.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall.
The speech from Honorable Commissioner is uncalled for. You see, we don't vote for all these excuses. Or some people don't vote for modulated salary. And you can, as the thing is going out of hand. See, people are suffering. Imagine pensioners, retirees, and other workers. See all these excuses this man is giving this morning.
All right, thank you. We have to go now because of our time, but we thank you very sincerely. We hope that government and Labour are able to come to the negotiating and reach a deal in the interest of all parties. We thank you very sincerely. We may be able to take any more calls. We have many of the messages also today. We'd like to thank you for sending in those messages, and many calls still coming in as well. Because of our time, we just have to let go now. We spoke earlier on to Dr. Tunji Ogunyemi, better historian and economic expert, joining us from the OAU in Ile-Ife on the impact of this fuel scarcity on the Nigerian nation and its individuals also. And we also spoke to the Secretary of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Mr. Rufus Adeyemi, joined us live on the line. And also we spoke to the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Honorable Aniba Diriwa, on this strike declared by the NLC this morning. We'll be back here on Monday for another edition of Frank Talk on Rave 91.7 FM. On behalf of the team and executive producer Femi Adefila, my name is Femi Olanipekun. Thank you so much for listening, asking you to have a super weekend. Bye-bye.
Imagine the sun without heat. Imagine water without wetness. Imagine the sky without the stars. Imagine movement without motion. Imagine Oshobo without Aro. Imagine Inyo without Eforiro. Imagine Ocean without Rave. Just imagine. Rave 91.7 FM would define every moment.
Hello, Mama. My boss is leaving now. We will see soon.
My son, as you leave, you go leave trouble behind. Oh.
Amen, ma.
As you dey come, God protection go cover you.
Amen, ma.
You will arrive safely.
Amen, mama.
Prayers never end with Airtel Smart Recharge. Recharge with *220 *PIN hash to get 10 times your recharge